So I guess since November is Mental Health Month, I've seen a couple videos on this, but I just want to speak on that a little bit. Just the other day, I was at work and one of my coworkers approached me. Now, to give a little background story, I'm not gonna, you know, put his business out there, but ever since I started working with this gentleman, um, I could tell something wasn't right, but I just kept saying good morning, what's up, how are you, and you could tell his energy was, you know, on the downside of things. And, but I'm always the type of person that I believe you can make a difference just by saying hello, just by being kind, and acknowledging the person. That part, acknowledging people, uh, letting people know that you see them, that you respect them as humans. And that's how you can show your love and respect for people, by just acknowledging their presence, acknowledging their existence. And so, it's tough sometimes because you could take it personal. Egoically, you could have a reaction, and I would have reactions internally. I would never express them, you know, but um, I would feel like, man, what's up with this guy? Like, but then I would reflect, hey, sometimes there's people out there that, have something going on and they reflect that back into their response. Like sometimes he would just be like, "What's up?" Like whatever, and I would take that, some type of way. But again, I would reflect and say, "Don't take it personal." And that's one thing I want to point out is if there's somebody out there like, they didn't really do anything to you, or you didn't do anything to them really, and they have a certain type of negative reaction towards you just by you saying hello. Don't take it personal. It's not nothing you did, it's something internally that they're battling. I've learned that. But anyways, so make a long story short, this guy came up to me just recently this week, and I said, "What's up?" Like every day, and I keep it moving. He said something like, "What's up?" And then he said something. I don't remember what he said, but he said something like, "Man, I wish things were better," or something like that. Something like to that point. And usually, because like I've learned, like unless they ask you, don't give them your input. Like I've had so many situations in my life where I've had to learn, like, unless they're asking you, dude, like don't give your input on a situation, whatever it may be. So, it just depends too, but whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I would never impose myself on him, or like, hey, what's up with you, or trying to inquire, like, whatever. Um, so he finally, opened up to me, finally asked me, like, he asked me this question, like, how can I have more energy in the mornings to come to work, you know? And he started to tell me what was going on, and I would tell him, like, the simplest things I told him was like, what are you eating? What are you doing personally? What are the habits, whether good or bad, that you're doing? If it's good, do more of that. If it's bad, do less of that. The environment you're in, the people you're hanging out with, like, what are you doing? To better yourself. All those things. You know, and he started to tell me certain things that he wanted to do, or how he was feeling, because he felt like nothing nothing was going right for him. Nothing in his life that he was doing felt right, and that he wanted to go back and revert to his old ways. And if he reverted to his old ways, there was big negative consequences that would cost him maybe his life, uh, time away from his family, you know, and whatnot. And there's a lot of people out there that find themselves in these type of situations. And I honestly told him, like, look, bro, if anybody out there is telling you, like, hey, you need to be doing this, but within you, inside of you, that's not the best thing to do, they're not for you. They're not about you. They don't care about you. They don't love you. That's one thing. I told him, here, people that are here working with you, this is a safe space. People here care. People here are for you, you know, and you have to realize that. And it goes for everybody. Like if there's somebody out there telling you to do something and you know it's not for you, they're not for you. One, two, you know, there's things in life that sometimes we gotta like go through and get through. Like he was complaining about money, like he felt like he needed more money in his life, and I was like, bro, if right now you feel like doing what you're doing right now here isn't for you, and you want to just you're chasing the money or want to go and get that fast money, bro, like I'm telling you, then God's just gonna give you what you asked for. You know, He's just gonna give you those consequences that it's just gonna be detrimental to your life. So, I went ahead and I told him like, bruh, the best thing you could do, regardless of what's going on in your life right now. I know it's tough, but I promise you, you start praying, you start getting in tune with your spiritual self, with your higher self, and being grateful. That's important. Being grateful. Grateful for the littlest things, the smallest things that you can be grateful for. I'm telling you, things will change for you. I promise you that. But if you're over here letting your mind get the best of you, and trapping you into these negative thought loops, you're doomed. So, regardless of your situation, regardless of your state of being or your circumstance, it's what's within you that makes a difference. You have to believe that the situation that you're in right now is the best situation that you can be in. You got to be grateful for that. And that's one thing I've learned in the past 3 years, being separated from my family, having to go through a divorce, and having to struggle and having to financially and all these. I can go on and on and on and on. But what I'm trying to say is the best thing I've learned to do is be grateful. Be grateful even for the negative. Our job on this earth right now is, when we have challenges, turn those into positives. Take what you need from it. Take the lesson you need to take from it, the skills you need to take from it, what you've learned from that, and turn it around and apply it to your life and turn it into a positive. But if we take it as a negative, just as a negative, we don't take it as a lesson, we keep digging ourselves deeper and deeper into these holes. Deeper we go into this black hole of negativity. So, and I finally just told him, like, bro, I might not know you. You might think I don't like you or whatever the case may be. But I love you, brother, because we are all from the same source. I firmly believe that. Whoever says different, well, that's your choice. That's your right. But for me, we all come from the same, no matter your religion, no matter your ethnic background, no matter your status, no matter what. We all come from the same source. We all are one. I firmly believe that, and I told him, I love you. I love you, brother. And whenever you need to talk, whenever you need somebody to hear you out, I'm here. I'll drop anything and everything for you to help you out. And that's from the heart. Anybody that sees this, I want them to know that. I want them to honestly know that and take what I say from in this video and know that I love you. I'm here for you through this video. If you want to really talk to me, I have a Stan Store, a link that you could hit me up. I could do a consultation with you, help you go through. That's one thing I realized. Like, I've been struggling with figuring out how to do these consultations, how to structure my business. With the consulting through self development, self improvement. Aspect of what I want to do. Coaching, life coaching, stuff like that. But, I just got to start and shoot from the hip. I'm not no expert, but I have been through some tough things. There's certain things I've done that I've noticed and I know for a fact from the bottom of my heart have helped me. And I just keep learning. I'm going to keep learning till I die. I realized that I never liked school. Back in the day, when I was growing up, I went through a lot of things. Parents fighting, going through crap that people, married people get through that maybe they just never were meant to be together, go through. I saw what they went through. I struggled, I remember being a youngster, you know, learning how to write poetry. I really like that. I used to be, a sketch drawer. Used to sketch a lot, draw a lot, and then all of a sudden I stopped. Around the time I started to get into sports, and that was around the time that my parents were starting to have big problems, and I noticed it, and it was great. It greatly affected me. But now I'm getting back into it, back into writing, back into writing poetry, back into just journaling, back into drawing again. The other day, if you could check out my Instagram. I posted my a poem that I wrote in it, and it really excited me. It really gave me this like kid in a candy store feeling. That's the best I could describe it. This giddiness. I wrote out. I'm a big fan of rap, hip hop music, a lot of like the New York style rap lyrics and stuff like that. And, one of my cousins that I love dearly, he used to rap and record and make beats. And he would, challenge me or encourage me to try. And I would, and I sucked, whatever. I never fell into that or never thought. But that's one thing I could say. You never know if you don't try. You never know. You might just surprise yourself, and you gotta let God do the rest. If that's the message I want to put out there, and I hope people resonate with it somehow. As long as there's one person that I've changed their life and helped them get through what they get through, and you know, help them start living out their dream life, then I did my job. I did what God intended me to do here on this planet. So, if you're interested, I'm still working on this stuff, structuring my business model and everything. But if you're interested, check out the link in my bio, my stand store. I'm still working on putting it all together. But eventually, I believe in what I'm saying. Again, this is an experience I just spoke to you guys about, that outer intention, what they call it. The God's will, directed this person to me. There's many other people that He's directed to me, and I've helped out, without me wanting to take anything from them. I'm just giving them, But also, there's, I don't mean to be salesy or nothing, but hey, everybody's got to make a living. The world runs on currency. But you know what? That's another thing I want to point out. That's just the money and currency is just the symbol of energy exchange. It's how we can exchange energy. I offer something, I'm giving you something. Like, this video is free. I'm taking the time out of my day to make this video to enlighten the people and show my love and respect for the people. And that's a form of energy exchange. Uh, Somebody comes and takes that, whether they hit me up and say, hey, can we talk? I'll pay you for your time, whatever, boom. That's, equal amount of energy exchange. And then if you really didn't think, your time, your money was well spent with me talking, I'll give you your money back. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing, So, again, check me out. I'll keep posting. I'm really passionate about what I'm talking about. I have a lot of passions. And so I'm just going to keep on doing me. I love me, and you should too. So with that, I'll leave you out with all the love and respect. I'm out. Be greater than yesterday. Peace.